Oh, namaste. Spirituality is, as it says, of the spirit. It's not of the flesh. Okay? So these ideologies that it has to be seen one way or another way based upon where you are born or what body you're in is nonsense. As one goes through the journey, basically the spirit flies. The spirit is just, it's the same truth. In the end, it's the same truth. Okay? Only one God, Great Spirit. Okay? Again, whether you call it Allah or Wankantaka, it doesn't matter. It's all the same one spirit. Comes into the seen world. It projects itself out into this divisionary experiences. Okay? Different scenery along the way. That's all. So whether you take the path of, it's a Native American, and the spirit of the land, and just because, also, some of us that make that journey, that mystic's journey, some of our first teachers are, of course, out in the nature. It's the first teacher. If there is that connection, if one is walking that solitary journey, our first teacher is the seen world. And then we move beyond that seen world. There's a connection with it, and then that spirit begins to open. And we open, okay? And as the sensitivities open, more and more comes, more and more comes. It just filters through. It's just there, okay? Because again, on the other side, we all have these helpers, spirit helpers, etc., that are there. They're not confined by form or location, okay? They go based upon one's cognition, upon one's ability to perceive, okay? So people have such false ideations that you have to be confined in this little box. And every box has to be separate from one another. Okay? Which is not true at all. I mean, it's craziness. You see people and they have such false understanding. Okay? The newest thing is this thing of, misappropriation. What they call misappropriation. That you're trying to make fun of somebody else's culture. And which is nonsense. Ones that want to say that are ones that wear, the same clothing as most Americans wear, Levi jeans, etc. Well, then why are you wearing Levi jeans? Why are you wearing this if you think that that one's own cultural heritage, that's okay? Are you making fun of others' culture because you're wearing, Levi jeans? It's ridiculous. You would see it as ridiculous. We see it as ridiculous. So if somebody is wearing something, from, African culture or another culture, maybe it moves their heart, moves their spirit, moves their, and this is what feels natural to them. Okay? So, this idea that people are doing it out of disrespect or making fun, it's not Halloween. They're not dressing up for Halloween. They're dressing as to what is fulfilling their spirit at the moment. Okay? So I think people need to open up more to the things of the world, the things of the spirit, the things of, that a fulfillment. Okay? We want to see cultures, intermingle to become a family, a human family, rather than, again, this idea of divisionary. Until we come to a point of integration and respecting and enjoying and absolutely celebrating all the various things that are out there. It should be a celebration, okay? Not seen as something, how dare you do this? How dare you do that? That's ridiculous. Where does that divisive spirit come from? It's not from, God. It's not from Allah. It's not from Yahweh. It's not from Wankantanka. It is not from the Great Spirit. Okay. These divisions come from that negative father of lies, that drama that wants to separate. Again, if during the time, and I saw this the other day, if during the time when people came over to this land and misappropriated things, it's terrible what's been done in this country, how Native Americans have been so abused. If the native tribes at that time had banded together, but they were all fighting amongst themselves. Each tribe was fighting with the other tribes. Again, there was a divisionary spirit. Okay? If the tribes had come together and saw they had, a common enemy, and they had banded together, they would have been able to keep their lands, rather than having the foreigners come in and take over. And it's the same lesson time and time again. People have to band together to get rid of, these ideologies, get rid of these dramas that are continuing to come in. Because the dramas that come in, just like we have now the drama of Trump and the drama of that, and the thing with Russia and sending all these conspiracy theories which divide. You never heard that? Divide and conquer? Mein Kampf, divide and conquer. That's what they're about, divide and conquer. Because they know if people pool their energies together, they're dead in the water. The negative cannot survive when the positive pulls together. But if they can get that positive turned into shadows and fighting with one another, then they can appear to rule and conquer. It's time to stop the nonsense. It's time for humanity to see spirit. Spirit is not confined by a body form. Spirit is always free, like a bird flying high. It's always free. Spirit sees the overall. Okay? Spirit is the same thing in every person. No matter what the cultural context it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the color of the face. It doesn't matter what is worn. It doesn't matter. What matters is the heart. the intent, that opening of love, that opening of wanting to embrace, okay? That wanting to share, that wanting to, move forward, to honor all the various traditions and things of light, of humanity, of, that spirit of giving, that spirit of truth, that spirit of, abundance, that spirit of light. Don't allow these divisive spirits to continue to come in and cause ignorance. They keep pulling one away until one is in absolute ignorance, such as we have in these white supremacist dramas that are going on, such as we had with Hitler and those ones that come in, such as we have with any of those that want to participate in genocide, separation, having to, get rid of one to put themselves higher, because they are not secure within themselves. They have nothing within themselves. Understand, this doesn't come from superiority. This comes from lack. Okay? Just as Trump comes from lack. Every day has to have people give him a book full of things, of all his accomplishments, every day, to pat him on the back. Because he is so full of lack, he has nothing within himself. That's why he's a bully. Okay? Because they really have nothing. It's not coming from strength. Bullying like that type of thing doesn't come from strength. It comes out of fear and lack. And knowing they are a fake, knowing they are a fraud, knowing that is what they are. They have no presence. Okay? They have no quietude within. Their mind is going 50,000 miles per second on everything imaginable, and they cannot keep anything straight. They do not speak straightly ever. Their words are here and there and scattered. Everything is scattered. They have no presence. They have no stillness. They have no strength. Okay? They're running from spirit. They're running from truth because they are afraid to look at themselves. They haven't even begun a journey, haven't taken one step. There is so much abundance out there, but it has to be done in a right way. Honoring what is there, using only what is needed, and preserving the rest, preserving nature, preserving these things, being respectful of it. The world needs to change, and it needs to change rapidly before it self-destructs. It is on a course now of self-destruction. Because ego has gone rampant again. So this is a time that humanity has to come together. Those of the spirit have to come together into that place again of quietude, centering, balance, awareness. Okay. When one becomes aware of that spirit, okay, that one is spirit, one is not the body form. Spirit inhabits the body form. The body form is nothing but a vehicle so that we can have experiences in this plane. That's it. It comes and goes like a car. You get in your car, you get out of your car. Okay? You are not the car. People have confused the spirit with being the car. Okay? The car breaks down. The car comes, it goes. Okay? But we are not the car. We are that spirit which inhabits the car. And that spirit can fly. That spirit has no boundaries when one finds out that truth. But one is limited by their ideations of being a form, constrained. Okay? And one has gone beyond that ideation when one sees with clarity, not an intellectual idea about it. This is not talking about a intellectual I've read and therefore I know I'm God, I'm this, I'm that. No. Ego wants to be God. Okay? Ego, this confinement of spirit wants to be God. Okay? The confinement wants to be God. It wants to see it's something bigger than it is. Because it doesn't understand that that body form is the illusion. Okay? When one lets go of that illusion and sees the grander thing, one is this great spirit, one is this, this light beyond lights, one is that energy that's like a thread through all of existence. You are part and parcel of existence. So when those restrictions and confinements are gone, one flies and soars. One enters a still, steady point. One is also the rock, the stone, the mountain, unmoving. In 1 second, one can become a mountain, still, present for eons. And in the next second, be the bird flying, soaring high, seeing everything, unrestricted. Okay? This is the journey. To find out one is not within that limitational ideation, a confinement that one has put themselves in. They have put themselves in a jail of a mind, confined in a body, constricted by limitation through their own imaginations and their own delusional ideations. They have constricted themselves into this battle. Okay? They are battling themselves. And they don't understand it. They are battling their own restrictive ideations that they have put themselves under. When one has gone beyond that, there are no restrictions. One never feels confined. Okay? One is always free. And people don't understand that. They are free to suffer. They cause their own suffering by their limited ideations of accepted bondage. Rather than understanding this energy that divine is, which is powering the form, which is powering everything, you've got just as much power here as it does in the biggest nova. Okay? But one has limited it due to their ideations. When Kundalini, or this light of God, awakens and it goes through the consciousness, like I said, it's like the roto-rooter of consciousness. It challenges everything one thinks they are and what they are not. All the illusions, all the darkness, all the drama gets challenged and moved beyond. And so when that's blown apart, And there's only that clarity that comes like a clear stream. You've cleaned out all the mud, the drudge, the drama. And it's gone from being this very murky, polluted stream to being crystal clear waters, pure, ever pure. Never again to take on those restrictions. Okay. When one reaches that place and knows they are always free and they have always been free, then they fly. Okay. Then one enters what the Bible says, that peace which passes understanding, that clarity. Okay. Peace which passes understanding. It's always present. Okay. Ego is not the divinity. That's the lie. That's the cult ideation that they want to project, that the ego is somehow God. And they limit themselves even further into darkness, into rather than understanding, they're going the opposite way. Okay, they will wind up in even more confinement. Okay. So this is why on this type of path I give instructions how to do a balanced breath, how to stay in balance, how to still, how to step back into witness, to question, to see what's coming as it's coming, okay, to understand what is there. To go forward, to cutting through the drama rather than trying to create more that one's clinging to and trying to manufacture. Okay. People think they're going to lose something. You don't lose anything. Maybe for a while it feels like there is loss. You're losing it all, but you gain the world. Okay? You gain everything in the end. And it's never been lost. It's never truly lost. Okay. So I'm going to close this out here today. Everyone, please follow your path. Do your journey step by step by step by step. Okay. So namaste. Have a great day. And remember, God is spirit. We are spirit. Spirit is never constricted by form unless you yourself put that into place. Okay, namaste.